Well, it should be relatively easy in these kind of situations just to return to fundamental principles of morality. But increasingly, dealing with moral issues these days is increasingly difficult because there is a lot of ambiguity about the language we use and the definitions of various types of sexuality and even genders. Now, you are known, just to broaden the moral picture for a second, you're known for your opposition to abortion, again, partly because of an indirect but personal encounter with it. Can you explain what happened then?
So I'd just like to point out that, my opposition to abortion, people know that I go to pro-life events, that I'm pro-life, but they just assume that they know exactly what my full opinion on, abortion is, and they don't. They assume that it's religious. It's not. When I was a teenager, I helped my best friend to get an abortion with the nun, actually, at my school. And I was warned, by my mother, actually. She said, you need to understand, Moira, that after this, your friend is not going to want to have anything to do with you. And I said, of course she will, Mum. I've helped her through this amazing time. We've been best friends for years and years. What are you talking about? But my mum was absolutely right. So I reminded my best friend of the abortion, that, she got with help. No one shamed her. It was fine. But she came up to me one day and, after the abortion, she just didn't want anything to do with me. Her life fell apart. She started, she couldn't come to classes. She became so depressed. It destroyed her. And I thought it was going to fix all her problems. My feminist upbringing, was that this was a freeing thing. And I'm not saying it isn't for some women, but for my best friend, it was devastating. And nobody cared about her after she'd had the abortion. I couldn't get anyone to care about her. No one cared that she started missing school, that her grades dropped significantly, except her mother, actually. And I'm devastated by this, but her mother called me and just said, Moira, what's wrong with my daughter? What's happened? What has happened? And I don't even remember what I said. It's such a traumatic memory for me because I felt so guilty that I had done something to this woman's child behind her back that had ended up harming her daughter. I thought I was doing all the right things that people say to do when there's a girl with an unplanned pregnancy. I was one of these people who hid something from a parent. And so me having seen the damage of cutting parents out of important decisions in their children's lives, that was just had a huge impact on me. The fact that it didn't solve my best friend's problems had a huge impact on me. And the fact that nobody really wanted to admit that she fell apart after that and she needed help, and nobody cared afterwards, that had a big impact on me. And so the people who do know me know that one of my positions is that if there's going to be pre-counselling, there has to be post-counselling, in terms of an offer at least, because I know that for my best friend, she wouldn't have gone to the people who, are pro-abortion because she's not allowed to have any regret. She was not allowed to admit that she had any regret. And so they couldn't or wouldn't help her. And she also didn't go to pro-life people because she was afraid that they would shame her. And so my poor best friend was stuck all alone with something that had, regardless of whether it should be or should not be, was an extremely traumatic issue for her, so much so and so common that my mum just knew before it even happened that that's exactly how she would react.